I hate to say how many years ago I went to a Promise Keepers event. This was like decades ago. It was at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, and there was a dynamic speaker there who really was challenging me and 60,000 other men to be a better husband and to be a better father and to be a man of integrity and to be a man of courage. And I thought, wow, that guy can light up a stadium. And I even kind of left that day thinking, I'd love to meet him one day. Because I also heard he was a chaplain for the Dallas Cowboys, he was a chaplain for the Dallas Mavericks, and I love sports. It'd just be a fun guy to meet one day. And today, he's just a dear friend. He's a dear friend. It wasn't that long ago where he and I were in his home, in his living room, and after visiting, just prayed for one another together. He's a guy who has embraced this model of leadership, of inspiring the church to engage government, not for the advancement of a party, but for the advancement of God's kingdom and the blessing of people. He's one who has embodied this conversation you just had with Greg and Kelly by starting the urban alternative about how the church should be a resource in meeting community needs. He is just a champion of the gospel. He's a champion of the family. He's known all over the country and internationally. He has leaders' ears and they listen to him. Please give a hearty Iowa welcome for Dr. Tony Evans.
What a welcome indeed. Yes.
Well, good morning. I am privileged and honored for this opportunity to be here at the summit and to affirm a great man and a great ministry and all of those who are supporting this great work. I was here a couple of years ago and I was a little offended that they didn't invite me right back. I called Bob. I said, Bob, you didn't invite me back. He said, well, you did okay. But this is really a significant gathering that we have, and this year it's going to be, really leaders, and we really need some dynamic communication. I said, well, I really want to come. He said, well, we heard you, and you're just not ready yet. So being somewhat evangelically ticked off, I said, I'll practice. Can I send you a CD? He said, well, send me a CD and I'll listen and see if you. So he listened. I called him. Did you listen? Yes, I listened. What do you think? You're getting better? But you have to understand, this is a family leadership summit and, average won't do. I said, give me one more chance. He said, send me one more CD. So I sent him one more CD. He listened. He said, I see you trying hard, Evans, but you're just not ready yet. I said, Bob, I'll come for free. He said, now you're ready. So I am. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to be here. Thank you for having me.
Remember, when Tony Evans stepped down, he was scheduled to speak at a cruise. He was scheduled to speak at a cruise. He ended up canceling that and stepping down. Why? Because he was no longer, he had stepped down from being a pastor at his church. So he canceled his pastoral speaking engagements. You see what I'm saying? So the question is, right now, if Tony Evans is not back, if Tony Evans has not been restored back to ministry, why is he carrying these duties in these places where he's speaking? He's just not speaking about how to do business and everything. He is exegeting the text. He is preaching and teaching. So what is the difference? He canceled the trip on a cruise where he was going to be preaching and teaching. So why did he accept the speaking engagement at this leadership summit where he's also, preaching and teaching? What is the difference? Because there hasn't been any statement that Tony Evans has been restored back to ministry. Because they do believe that somebody can be restored to ministry. So I'm just asking these questions based upon their own beliefs and how they act. You see, do you get what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, what is going on? What is happening? So let's hear just a clip, what he said. That way you can see that he was actually preaching and teaching the word of God.
It's called for a conference. That conference that he called for is summarized for us in Matthew 28. In our circles, we call it the Great Commission. From chapter 28 through verses 16 to 20, he gives his authorization to his representatives. 3 groups are invited to the conference. We're told in verse 16 that the 11 went up to the mountain that Jesus had designated. So the 11, that is minus Judas, went up to the meeting. We're told in 1 Corinthians 15 that there were more than 500 brethren who gathered to meet Jesus. So there are at least 500 or perhaps 511, or if 11 are part of the 500, 489 that have gathered together at the mountain for the meeting with the risen Christ. There is a third group that attends the meeting, because verse 20 says, I will be with you always, even until the end of the age. But the age has not yet ended, so you and I are invited to the meeting.
Well, so there's no doubt that he's not reading a magazine or anything else. He's teaching the word of God. He is teaching the scriptures. Okay? So, has Tony Evans come back to ministry? They haven't put anything out. But we are not to worry, because other people ask the same questions. It was unclear on Friday whether Evans, who has previously spoken at the Family Leadership Summit, had been biblically restored to ministry. An Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship Church official, Oak Cliff Bible Church, this is where Tony Evans is senior pastor. This is his church where he stepped down, okay? An Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship Church official could not immediately confirm Evans' fitness for ministry on Friday when contacted by the Christian Post. I'll repeat. An Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship Church official could not immediately confirm Evans' fitness for ministry on Friday when contacted by the Christian Post. Officials at the Family Leader also did not respond when Christian Post asked if the ministry had discussed the reason for Evans' resignation from his church last year. Okay, so we already know Tony Evans stepped down and everything, but he said he committed a sin, but it was not disclosed what it was. On its website, the Family Leader says it connects pastors with government leaders to, quote, foster a movement rooted in prayer, revival, and gospel-driven change, close quote. And they also say, quote, we believe true hope for America lies in the church rising to be the salt and light Christ has called it to be. Communities and government, the website states. In introducing Evans at the Family Leadership Summit last month, Vanderplat, yes, his name is Bob Vanderplat, said Evans had embraced the model of leadership his organization is promoting, saying he's a champion of the gospel. He's a champion of the gospel. Question still stands. Has Tony Evans been restored back to ministry? So the official of Oak Cliff Bible Church could not say yes. They could not say anything. So if he's been restored, I think it shouldn't be hard to say, yes, Pastor Evans has been restored back to ministry. He's back at it. All right, that's what they believe. We'll keep it moving, okay? But we also know Tony Evans stepped down, canceled all his speaking engagements because he was, quote unquote, going through restoration. So has the restoration ended? And if he's still going through restoration, why did he accept this invitation and canceled the other speaking engagements? Because he was undergoing the restoration process. So this is the problem when you have different rules for people, and when you just want to do, if he's being restored, they believe in restoration. Okay. Just let us know. Inquiring minds would like to know. Tony Evans stepped down. And when he stepped down from preaching and teaching, any event that he was scheduled to preach and teach, he also canceled because he was going through this restoration. So the question we are asking, is the restoration over? That's all. If they tell us restoration is over, Tony Evans is back to preaching and teaching, there's nothing we can do about it. If you ask me, in the camp, I do believe in permanent disqualification. You step down, you disqualify yourself for ministry, it's a wrap. But that's not what they believe, and I understand it. So according to their own ideology and their premise and their theology is that he can be restored, fine. He canceled because he was going through restoration. So why is he preaching and teaching before the restoration has finished? And if the restoration has finished, the Oak Cliff Bible Church official, why couldn't he confirm that? That's what we are saying over here. But we are here. We'll keep an eye on it. If it's been restored, we'll bring it out to you. But those are the questions that we're asking. It's causing a confusion. Is it back or not? You ask me, Tony Evans is testing the waters to see, is it fine for me to come back or not? Because there's been quite a few publications who wrote about this issue. So it's just not like, okay, it's just not just quote unquote the YouTubers, okay? There's some publications who are also asking the same questions.